I have an idea. As I sit here right now, we're exactly 8 weeks away from the start of the Scotties, which means we're about 7 weeks away from teams having to start traveling and do the little dance required to get inside the curling bubble. And yet, Alberta, Calgary, where the bubble's supposed to occur, it's locked down. And will be locked down for the next 3 weeks at least. It depends on how numbers go. It depends on how things go. If we look across the country, curling is paused in BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, all of Ontario soon, most of Quebec, parts of Nova Scotia, all of PEI. All in all, something like 80% of Canadians are unable to curl right now, at least in any sort of traditional manner. At the same time, travel's restricted. I'm not supposed to drive an hour up the road to Toronto. Health officials are begging us to not see our family over Christmas. You don't need me to read the headlines and tell you it's bad out there right now. And yet, we're planning a curling tournament, or a set of curling tournaments, in Calgary, in the worst central part of the pandemic, over the next couple months, when all the experts are saying the next couple months are going to be the worst of the worst. It's where the numbers are skyrocketing. We're asking health officials in those areas to, at a bare minimum, spend some of their time reviewing protocols and double checking things and giving us blessing to run the event. In the worst case scenario, where somehow we trigger some sort of bad thing or the bubble fails, we're putting an extra burden on a system that just can't handle it right now. I'm not sure that's the right thing to do. Okay, look, I get it. For me, curling is a hobby. It's a big part of my life. I love it. I love everything about it, but it's just a hobby. For the high-level players, for the governing officials, for a bunch of media representatives, for other kind of people in the country, suppliers, this is their life. I mean, some of the discussion is that, the curling bubble is just about money, and you know what, a big part of that is probably true. But let's be clear, we're not talking about billionaires trying to buy a second yacht here. These are middle-class Canadians who use curling to pay the bills, to pay their rent, to put food on the table, to put their kids in school. Nobody's getting rich off of this thing. People are just trying to make a living the way they know how, and there's nothing wrong with that. That part's okay. I just think that right now we're heading towards running some kind of small rerun of last year's Nationals, where a bunch of the teams can't even participate. We didn't have any provincial playdowns getting there. There's going to be no fans in the stands. There's going to be no energy, and we're just trying to get away with something. We're trying to find some set of loopholes where we can run a few events and hope like hell that they don't go badly. What if? What if we could do something better? What if instead of running this small event here where we're scared, what if we could do something amazing? You listen to the experts and they say that, okay, fine, the next couple months are going to be bad, but we have the vaccine. The vaccine is rolling out. If you look at the trajectories of the numbers, it seems very, very likely that by September, we'll have beat this thing. All of Canada, by sacrificing for a year and a half, by making the hard decisions, by avoiding doing things, by staying at home, we were able to beat this thing. And by September, instead of doing something now where we're scared, by September, we'll be ready to celebrate the fact that all of us together got this thing done. So what if the celebration that Canada needs, that Canada deserves, come the fall, could be curling? What if instead of running 6 weeks of events right now where we're going to run a world championship and we're not even allowed to invite most of the world to attend, what if in September we could run a set of championships where there's fans in the stands, where the people who show up there get to go and shop at local businesses and help them rebuild, where the world gets to come play on our ice because, hey, we worked together and we beat this thing and it's awesome now. And this is completely selfish, I admit it. What if? Now, you know I've been tracking the status of curling clubs. You know that a bunch of them are closed down right now. All of them have got lower memberships. What if, at the very moment that our curling clubs are sending out their membership applications in a desperate attempt to rebuild in the fall, we were flooding the airwaves? TSN, Rogers, CBC, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, everything was nothing but a constant stream of the best curling you could possibly imagine? What if all these things were happening right at the moment where clubs are saying, hey, why don't you come curl? Curling has always had the problem that our best and most beautiful events happen in February, March, April, and then our membership drives happen in the fall. What if this one time when we absolutely positively need it the most, instead of running a small little event with no fans right now where we're just trying to get away with something, we throw a gigantic curling party in the fall. Everybody's invited. The whole world gets to come. People get to compete to show up at the Nationals. And people on TV, people on the street are going to be able to watch the curling and say, that looks like fun. I'm going to try it with my family tomorrow. Let's go out there and try and curl. This would be good for all the clubs. It would be good for curling in general. I think it's going to be better for the players. I believe this is the right solution. And I'm very curious what you think. Let's push the curling bubble and all those events to the fall.